please welcome Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Miss Emilia Clarke. Hello, welcome to Tokyo. Thank you. ようこそお越しくださいました。通訳は戸田夏。
Well, it is wonderful to be back in Tokyo, to be back in Japan. We are right now on our Asian tour to promote Terminator Genesis. But of course, I have come to Japan and to Tokyo many times in the past. As a matter of fact, my first trip was in the early 70s when I was over here for a bodybuilding competition and for doing seminars, training seminars on how to train and how to become a Mr. Universe. And all those things. And then, of course, I started coming over here to promote my films. And the Japanese films, and fans, I should say, always have been very, very loyal and have been extraordinary. They've supported my films. They made my films big, many times #1 in the box office. I really appreciate that loyalty and the big fans here. And it's always wonderful to come back here. But also not only as an actor, or as a bodybuilder, or as a businessman. It was nice to come back here also as the governor of California. And I came here on a trade mission with more than 100 business executives to do trade here in Japan. It was a very successful trip, and so all of my trips to Japan always have been successful. The bottom line is I love Japan.
First of all, thank you so much for having us here. It's absolutely wonderful so far. This is my first trip, and it's already exceeded all of my expectations. So I am very, very lucky to be here on part of Terminator Genesis, and very lucky to be sitting next to Arnold and doing this tour. We've had a wonderful time so far, and yeah, thank you so much for having us.
The character that I play is the T-800. And what makes him special is simply that he was one of the first models of Terminators, of robots that was developed in the future in 2029. And he has been programmed throughout the Terminator series in many different ways. The first movie, he was programmed to destroy the human beings and especially to kill Sarah Connor. In the second movie, he was to protect and not to kill anybody. And then in the third one, he was a combination. He was very destructive, but he also was a protector. And in the fourth one that I was not in, so I cannot talk about the fourth one, but in the fifth movie now, in the last in Genesis, I play two characters. One of them is the one that is protecting the human race, and the other one, the younger version from 1984, is there to be very destructive and to protect the machines. So that creates, in the last movie, that creates a tremendous conflict because one Terminator, one of me, is there to protect the human race, the others is there to protect the machines, and that leads then to a huge battle and a huge fight scene, an epic battle, you know, kind of in the beginning of the movie. But I spent a lot of time with Sarah Connor. And so from an acting point of view, it's interesting because it gives me a chance to act the Terminator with a little bit more human qualities sometimes. And Sarah Connor is desperately trying to make him become more a human being, and sometimes she fails with that mission. And that creates then the comic relief.
Yeah, I think that there's a number of aspects that make Sarah Connor a very special version of the badass female heroes. And in the first two movies, you saw a very human depiction of watching a girl go from having a very normal life to then being thrown into a brand new destiny and a brand new fate. Which Linda Hamilton did incredibly and impeccably with James Cameron in the first two. And I think that the new aspects that you see within our Terminator Genesis is again that human struggle where you get to see her much younger as a 9-year-old witnessing a tragic event, then to be saved by the very thing that we have seen as a threat in the previous two, and that is Arnold's character. And so here you get to have a an even more kind of an even more real struggle of a young girl coming to terms with her fate, whilst having a light relief of the person leading her being that of a robot. And so you get to see her survival instinct, and you get to see a rounded human being who has the capacity to save the world, but who ultimately has no special powers. She's just a normal girl. And so getting to see and getting to play that strength, I think, is a really unique quality in the character of Sarah Connor.
Yeah, I always work out every day. I do cardiovascular training and weight training. But when we began the movie, 2 months before, I started lifting twice as heavy and twice as much because the director wanted me to gain 10 pounds, so I have the same size that I had in 1984. And then we did special training for the stunts, for the fight scenes, for the chase scenes, and all of the work that we did in the movie.
Yes, well, I, unlike Arnold, came to this project with next to no experience in any of the qualities that Sarah Connor has herself. So there was a number of different things that I had to work on. We had a lot of gun training that I had to do. I'd never really worked with them before, ever, so that was a lot of training to get myself to a point where I looked capable enough to have been dealing with guns for at least a decade. So that took some time. And then those guns are incredibly heavy, and she's incredibly active, and there were some really hard-pushing stunt scenes that we all took a part of. We were very lucky with our movie that a lot of the stunts we did do ourselves. So I had to try and find some muscles within myself, which involved training, weights training that I'd never done before. And also in that new kind of training, it gave me a whole new energy that I'd never had quite to that extent before, which got me through the long filming hours. But more than anything, in taking this role, I just very much wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger to say that I did a good job. And I feel like that has happened, so I'm very, very happy.
Okay.
When it comes to my interests and my passion, but other things besides movies, it's programs like after-school programs for kids. So we have programs all over the United States in 17 different cities that provide programs for kids that are after school. So when parents are not available because they're working, that the kids have someone there, an adult supervision, where they help them with homework, with tutoring, and with sports and fitness programs.
Well, the relationship that I was lucky enough to explore on screen was very much a father-daughter relationship between the Guardian, T800 Pops, and myself. Since Sarah was 9 years old, she's had the Guardian be her ultimate protector and swear that he would never let anything hurt her, ever. And after experiencing such a traumatic incident as watching her own parents die, that was exactly what she needed to give her the strength to take on board all the information he was giving her, to prepare her for the future, and to give her as much information as possible as to how to defeat the ultimate threat and live up to the destiny that she had in place for her, and give birth to the leader of the resistance. A small feat, which involved Arnold and I having this gorgeous father-daughter relationship that you get to see the truth of when he is put under threat. And so that was quite a beautiful scene to get to film in amongst an incredible stunt piece as well. So I think we had a lot of fun doing it, and it was pretty wonderful to explore the light relief between that of a robot father and his human daughter.
Okay.
I think that maybe before you see the movie, you will assume the most important thing is the Terminator, or is the action, the fight scenes, and the special effects and the visual effects. But I think that the most important thing in this movie is actually our relationship, is the Sarah Connor Terminator relationship, because it's really it adds so many human qualities to a movie like that, to an action movie, a big action movie like that. And also so many emotions that many people have said when you read the tweeters, the different tweets out there, they talk about how they have cried in a movie or how they have tears when they came out of the movie on the end, and there was this unexpected emotional roller coaster ride. And I think that's really gives the movie some great extra strength, is the relationship between us. And for me, it was really a great experience working with Emilia throughout the movie and acting out these emotions, even though Terminator is not a human being. He does not have emotions, but he does get emotional, and that is, from an acting point of view, really, I think, important, and it was only possible because I had a great actors to work with.
どうもありがとうございました。たくさんお話を伺わせていただきました。Thank you very much. それではこの後フォトセッションに移りますので、一度